time. Real guests paid for the testimonials.
Kick off the season in a brand new BMW. Visit BMW of Atlantic City for game-changing savings on our exceptional lineup. Right now, lease a new 2022 BMW X3 xDrive 30i for $609 a month for 36 months. Looking to trade? We'll pay top dollar for your current vehicle. Score your deal at BMW of Atlantic City. Closer than you think. Visit us in Egg Harbor Township or shop online at bmwatlanticcity.com. For more details, call us toll-free at 609-594-4238.
We know sports.
Touchdown!
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app. Now, live from the Matt Black Kia Studios. Here's Josh Hennig.
Well, that Thursday football game left a lot of people unhappy for a variety of different reasons. Plus, the Phillies won today. I got that going for you. A busy NFL weekend. We'll get to it all coming up here on Game Night, 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. Fantasy Football Friday. We'll have Andy McNamara joining us in less than 20 minutes from now to get into the latest with fantasy football with him, because, this is going to be an interesting weekend with some of the injuries that we didn't know about this week. I know there's some people out there who are looking at Christian McCaffrey not practicing most of this week. You got the big Eagles news that came out just a couple hours ago. We'll get to that if you haven't seen it over at 973ESPN.com. We got a lot of football to get to throughout the show. And I will touch on what we saw last night, because as I said on Twitter at Josh Hennig, and as I was telling people who I was with last night, because for those who don't know, I go out and watch the games. I'm not paying for another streaming service. So I'd rather go out, and give a little money of my disposal, the little money that I have, support the local economy, and spend money on another streaming app. So, but I was telling the people when I was out last night that, look, there's a huge problem with this Amazon game. So we'll get to that as well coming up here on Game Night. Text board is open as always. 609-403-0973 is the text board. You also can DM the show through 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. But first, we got to get to the Eagles news. Very, very unexpected news that came out just a couple hours ago. I am telling you guys, I am surprised that this is happening, because we didn't see any updates about this player not playing this Sunday. And this could change the entirety of this game on Sunday. Avonte Maddox out. Yes, not playing. He's not playing. He practiced most of the week. And then all of a sudden today, the injury report comes out. And all of a sudden, he's not playing. Why? What happened? I feel like we all just missed the memo, basically. So you're looking at a guy that literally just went out there and can't play now. So what do the Eagles do? This, to me, changes your entire strategy for this game. Now, Boston Scott not playing, that's of less consequence to me, okay? The Boston Scott thing, it's more of a luxury than anything else to have three good running backs on your roster who could all produce, all be productive. So Boston Scott not playing, it's kind of more of an annoyance than anything else. I'm assuming that Trey Sermon will be the third running back on Sunday. Again, assuming. I don't know that for a fact yet. Although it would be hilarious if they inactivated Trey Sermon and they called up Brooks to the practice squad. That would be actually pretty funny, but I digress. But here's the deal with Monte Maddox. him not playing changes the defensive strategy for two ways. One, I explained it earlier on the Sports Bash with Mike Gill here on 97.3 ESPN FM that we saw a lot in that game on Sunday. That one of the reasons why Carson Wentz was holding the ball for so long is because whenever the Washington running backs and tight ends were crossing the formation, they weren't playing a pure man-to-man defense. It was kind of more of an area assignment type of zone, man pickup, man drop defense. So if you had Antonio Gibson start on the right-hand side of Carson Wentz, he comes out in the flat and then crosses to his left, it looks like initially that TJ Edwards has picked him up in man coverage. But then halfway across the formation, TJ Edwards leaves him, drops back, and quote-unquote hands him off to the next guy. Whether that guy was C.J. Gardner-Johnson, whether that guy was Avonte Maddox, whether that guy was Marcus Epps, they were doing that almost the entire game, that as guys were crossing the formation, it was a virtual handoff of coverage. Without Maddox, you're losing a huge part of the substructure of that kind of defensive system. And it's not that Jacksonville has elite wide receivers, but the combination of Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, and Marvin Jones Jr. with James Robinson, the running back, and Travis Etienne, the running back, and Evan Ingram, the tight end. It's not the highest level guy. It's the plethora of guys that can hurt you. So now we go back to the question of what do you do with the safety and slot? Now, I understand that Zech McPherson has gotten more snaps this year than Josiah Scott, but is McPherson equipped enough to do the Avonte Maddox role, which is the zone, the man, the blitzing situations? I can't guarantee you that McPherson or Josiah Scott are equipped enough to do what Avonte Maddox has done the last 3 weeks. Is it a scenario where you ask Gardner-Johnson to play more slot and you kick somebody else to safety? Do you have a situation where instead of only playing TJ Edwards in, for example, a dime backer coverage, do you get more reps in coverage out of Kazir White and Nakobe Dean? How are you filling this void? Because there's a lot of ways Jacksonville can attack you now without Avonte Maddox. And we've already known, if you watch Jacksonville, I'm not ever sure if everyone has, listening to the sound of my voice on 97.3 ESPN FM and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. Josh Hennig hanging out with you. I'm not fully sure how many people know this, but all of the Jacksonville wide receivers can play inside or outside. We know Christian Kirk can play inside and outside because of his experience with the Cardinals. We know that Zay Jones can play inside and outside because of his history with both the Raiders and the Bills. And we know Marvin Jones can play all over the formation because of his background with the Bengals and Lions before getting to Jacksonville. So to me, I look at this situation as you got to be ready for anything. And that Travis Etienne guy, he may not be the most productive guy so far because he's sitting behind that beast, James Robinson. But this could be a game where he becomes more dangerous. So this Avonte Maddox thing is something to keep an eye on. And I will tell you this much. If you're someone who likes to play fantasy football, we'll ask Andy McNamara this coming up in less than 10 minutes from now here on 97.3 ESPN. Andy joins us each Friday for a Fantasy Football Friday on 97.3 ESPN. There's a part of me that looks at this game and says, are you more inclined to play Jacksonville skill players now in fantasy football? Seriously. If you're someone who's going to go and place a bet over at the FanDuel Sportsbook inside Bally's off the boardwalk in Atlantic City, do you look at the over-under and say, does Avonte Maddox affect your perspective of the final score? I know he's not the biggest name, he's not the star, but he's an important part of how this team likes to play that staggered zone defense. That half man, half zone kind of deal that they do. 45.5 is not the craziest number in the world. I mean, for goodness sake, did you watch Thursday Night Football? Unders are hitting over 61% this season in the NFL. So, could one guy be the difference to make this a higher scoring game? You know, if you went into this day thinking the Eagles were going to win, I don't know, 24-20, just throwing out a number, do you now think it has to be 30-27? Well, 30-27 is the over. A lot of questions about this game that we got to touch on here. Game Night 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. Over on the text board, 609-403-0973. Jeff in Ocean City says, I'm expecting a close first half, and then the Eagles will finally score in the second half this week, and they'll win by 14. That's from Jeff in Ocean City. Jeff, I love your optimism. I think if that happens, we're going to have a lot of questions about where was this offense for the first 3 weeks. You can't score 14, but win by 14 and score in the second half, and me not look at you and say, dude, how did you score in only one quarter last week? And you scored and you won by 14 this week. Like, how does that happen? Jeff, I love the optimism. I don't have the Eagles winning by 14, but if they do, Jeff, I will remember you, Jeff in Ocean City. Also on the text board, 609-403-0973. Texter says, Zach McPherson has played pretty well in limited reps, but if I were Gannon, I'd play more of a 4-3 this week, give those extra reps to Reddick and Jordan Davis and go after the quarterback. Well, the problem, you put two things together there, Texter, that are not synonymous with each other. You said go after the quarterback, and you said Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis's skill set is not a pass rusher. Jordan Davis is a space filler. And you talk about running more of a 4-3. You know, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you really want to get Jordan Davis more involved this week. I think you're running a 5-1. And here's why. Jordan Davis can be your nose tackle, and then Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave can play on each side of him. And then you have Reddick and Sweat on the edges. And then you have just TJ Edwards or just Kazir White as the only linebacker, because a lot of teams play 3-4 receivers. So you're going to need 3-4 corners on the field. So to me, if you're going to get Jordan Davis in there, and if your goal is to go after the quarterback, you're not asking Davis to go get him. You're asking Davis to just push the pocket and manipulate the situation to let everybody else go get the quarterback. The thing with Reddick is they got to start dropping him in coverage. They got better at it in the Washington game, but at some point, we got to stop asking this guy, whose greatest skill set is a pass rusher. Why? Why are we asking him to drop in coverage? Stop trying to fool everybody, Jonathan Gannon. Hey, I want to tell you that starting right now, through this weekend and all next week, is the South Jersey Golf Card. It's on sale right now. For just $149, you can play 7 fabulous golf courses. Get your South Jersey Golf Card now at seizethedeal.com. Seizethedeal.com is where you need to go to get your South Jersey Golf Card on sale now for $149 for your chance to play 7 golf courses here in South Jersey. But you got to go to seizethedeal.com. All right, we'll dig deeper into fantasy football. Do we play more Jags this week? Also, Andy McNamara's thoughts on the state of the NFL heading into week 4. Josh Hennig hanging out with you on a Friday, 97.3 ESPN FM and 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City. It is 6:16 p.m.
This is the radio home for Philadelphia Eagles football. The Eagles continue the 2022 season this Sunday against Doug Peterson and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Devontae Smith, touchdown! He caught it in the corner of the end zone.
Pre-game coverage starts at noon with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick calling all the action starting at 1 p.m. This is where the Philadelphia Eagles play. 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's official Eagles station.
Are you getting hit hard by low trade offers?
Ouch, that was a blindside.
That's a personal foul.
Don't get blindsided by low trade offers. Bring any trade to Matt Blatt Kia. Just because you don't see your new Kia on the lot doesn't mean you can't be driving it home tomorrow. Select from hundreds of new and certified Kias in stock or on the way. Worried about your credit? Forget it. We finance your future, not your past, with 0 down and 0 payments for 90 days. So bring any trade and drive home in a new Kia today with peace of mind. Matt Blatt Kia's exclusive 4-day love it or leave it return policy.
It's gotta be a Matt Blatt Kia.
On approved credit plus applicable taxes and fees. See dealer for details. Not all will qualify. Deferred payment through TFCU. Interest accrues from date of sale. Offers don't combine. Go to mattblattkianj.com for complete details. Matt Blatt Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township, and now on Route 37 and Toms River.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 844-94-BIBLE. That's 844-94-BIBLE. 844-94-BIBLE.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Ocean Casino Resort is the ultimate fantasy draft party spot. Go for the bragging rights this fantasy football season and plan your draft party at Top Golf. Each party receives a dedicated VIP draft space or private bay at Top Golf for up to 4 hours, an ocean draft board, swag bag, championship trophy, and more. Your fantasy football season starts here at Ocean Casino Resort. For more details, visit theoceanac.com. Go to Ocean. Go for the win. Let's go! Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You wash your hands and brush your teeth, but what about your nose? How do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, dirt, and germs, and it's why nose cleaning is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. People try Navage for lots of reasons: sinusitis, allergies, snoring, things that make it hard to breathe through your nose. But over time, they also find that cleaning their nose makes them feel better, a lot better. Nearly 3 million Navage users have written more than 100,000 reviews, averaging 4.7 stars, saying things like, "Best product I've ever used," and "Amazing, I love my Navage." That's because Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less. But the biggest payoff is improved health. Here's the key point. Navage is good personal hygiene, and it's going to help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, Target, and online. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Progressive presents Married to Your Home.
I'm such a screw up.
What? House? Why would you talk like that?
How are you even with a house without a walk-in closet?
Stop. You have more than enough storage.
Oh yeah, and the unfinished basement. Gross.
We'll finish it eventually. Together.
No matter how much you already love your house, you'll love it more knowing you could save big bundling your home and auto with Progressive. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
The one and only Mr. America All-American Sports Festival is coming to the Tropicana in Atlantic City, October 8th and 9th. The Super Bowl of natural bodybuilding is the world's most iconic bodybuilding competition. Competitors from 41 different states will compete for the title of Mr. and Ms. America. This year, more than 1,000 athletes competing in over 20 sports and events. The one and only Mr. America All-American Sports Festival, October 8th and 9th at Tropicana in Atlantic City. Get tickets now at MrAmerica.com.
Get what you want and pay over time when you use your Lowe's Advantage Card. Now through October 26, 2022. Ask for 0% APR with 36 fixed monthly payments on a product installation or appliance purchase of $1,000 or more. Shop for the appliances you want in-store or online. Or go to the store nearest you for installation. Now at Lowe's. Offer subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store Lowe's.com for details. U.S. only.
Football season is in full swing at FanDuel Sportsbook inside Bally's Atlantic City. Bet, watch, and win all season long. Plus, enjoy your favorite games from all over the world with 10 betting kiosks, 5 betting windows, 13 big screen TVs, and plenty of comfortable seating. Just head over to FanDuel Sportsbook at Bally's in Atlantic City to get in on all the action this season. FanDuel wants every bettor's experience to be enjoyable and fun. Visit FanDuel.com/playwell to learn more. Must be 21 or to play and present in New Jersey. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're listening to Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
There's never a shortage of things to talk about with the NFL. Never. I mean, this league is just constantly got stuff going on. And I never thought I would say this to Andy McNamara, who joins us next here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. But is there a real possibility that a nickel starting cornerback could impact a team and a game, not just in fantasy football, but in real football? Well, we'll ask him right now. He joins us every Friday for fantasy football talk. Andy McNamara joining us right now on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. Andy, my friend, welcome back. How you doing?
Josh, I'm doing well, brother. You caught me in a rare collared shirt situation. No wrestling gear today. I had to go out and actually, see humans. So I thought, you know what, I'll wear some of the button. I'll wear some of the buttons. So I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I mean, obviously, we both got the memo. We're both wearing some shade of blue. So
yes. Absolutely. You know what? This is actually like LA Chargers blue. Keenan Allen ruled out. That's important right away. So, and Justin Herbert survived Dr. Doom's needle plunge that spiked poor Tyrod. So, feeling pretty good if you're a Chargers fan.
I don't know how good you're going to feel considering Keenan Allen, but I digress. Let's get the fantasy football side of that. First of all, you mentioned Keenan Allen, so we'll hit on him first. This is now 2 straight weeks he has missed. Should owners be sweating a little bit here? Should they be, maybe looking elsewhere when it comes to that position? Like, because I'm sure a lot of people, Keenan Allen is probably their 1 or 2 wide receiver on their team.
Absolutely. And it's a situation where in one league, and I usually don't draft Keenan Allen, just nothing in particular, but I just haven't had him on a lot of teams over the years. I did in one of my teams this year, and I personally thought, okay, the injury bug has bitten him a bit. He's getting a little older, so I tried to backfill a little bit just to make sure. So I picked up Josh Palmer, who now, again, playing the Houston Texans. This is a great matchup, a really nice get-right game, I think, for the Chargers. So it's a shame Allen isn't in it. But if you're a Keenan Allen owner, you look to a Josh Palmer. Mike Williams is not there. DeAndre Carter, I like the first couple, took a step back this past week. He could be somebody as well. But I personally believe in this game without Keenan Allen against the Houston Texans and Justin Herbert still not 100%. Josh, I'm calling my shot right now. Get right game for Austin Eckler this Sunday. Eckler gets right on Sunday. Enough of this nonsense with him getting 11 fantasy points. He's going to ball out.
Well, you mentioned a running back. I got to ask you about another running back. DeAndre Swift has been ruled out. Now, we should mention that earlier this week, Dan Campbell said there's a possibility he might need a couple weeks not playing to get better. So, DeAndre Swift owners, Hard Knocks lovers, what do you do with these Swift owners?
So I said this, Josh, in my waiver wire pickup video each Tuesday I put out on Twitter at AndyMC81, #AskAndy. I said, look, first of all, try to get Jamal Williams, and you probably should try to get him beforehand. I drafted him, I think, with the last pick in a couple of my drafts and got him week 1 off of waivers. He has been tremendous for the spot you would have got him in. He's a flex play every week with the high handcuff option of being able to slide him in higher if a DeAndre Swift injury happens. Well, we're here with that situation. Now, as of Tuesday, he was owned in 62% of most leagues. That has gone up. I believe he's around the 75 to 80% mark last I checked the other day. So he might still be on a waiver wire, but if he's not, another option I like is J.D. McKissic. And this is a guy, Josh, should be available in around 80% of leagues. Like he should be there. PPR specifically, okay? He's catching the ball. He's making plays. He's quietly getting you into those low teens fantasy points, which is look, if you're scrambling waiver wire and you didn't prepare, you weren't that squirrel that put the acorn away and you're now finding out about DeAndre Swift and you get J.D. McKissic and he gets you 12 to 14 fantasy points, it's check in the mail to old Andy, please, because that's a hell of a deal if you can get that off of waivers on a Friday.
Mac Jones will not play this week. Now, I don't think a lot of people have Mac Jones as their number one QB. If you do, you must be like in a 16-team league and someone's hoarding quarterbacks and that guy should be kicked out of the league. But what do you do with Patriot players, okay? Jacoby Myers, he's had a couple of nice weeks, right? Nelson Aguilar, he's the guy who's a boomer bust guy. What do you do for Patriot players in this game?
Yeah, I'm not touching any receivers, Josh. I'm not. And of course, in redraft league season long, it really depends. Like in DFS, forget about it. No DFS, no Patriot receivers. Don't do it. But it always depends. What are your other options? If you have guys who are not going to play barely as a waiver option, then okay, you might play one. But ideally, you don't. I want to focus on the running backs here. Here's the other problem, though, with the Patriots, of course, similar to San Francisco, but usually more frustrating. You don't know if it's going to be Ramondre Stevenson this week. You don't know if it's going to be Damian Harris this week. You don't know if it's going to be both this week or if they bring up some weird guy at the last second and hose you like Bill Belichick has known to do. That's happened. We'll get Rex Burkheaded together. I don't know. That's the issue. So I would think you'd try to go run heavy, quick pass, the backup quarterback deal where get the ball out of your hand quick, utilize those running backs. Trouble is you don't know which one. So if I'm going to play any Patriot players, it's got to be the running backs, but it's pretty much a pick 'em as to which one might go off.
Eddie McNamara joining us for a Fantasy Football Friday here on Game Night, 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Seattle, at Andy MC81 on Twitter. Another guy who he's not the primary guy for a fantasy team, but he may impact other people on a team for fantasy football purposes. Hunter Renfrow will not play again. So, how are you looking at the Raiders' offensive pieces?
Right. And this is something I was tracking because everyone was running out to get Mac Hollins, who had a great week. Mm-hmm. But he had a great week because there was no Hunter Renfrow.
Right.
Well, now there's no Hunter Renfrow again. So, Mac Hollins' fantasy relevance should be extended a week.
That's a strange sentence right there.
So weird. Now, again, by relevance, Josh, I'm not going to put him in any lamps myself. Like, doesn't this just scream you're chasing and this dude's going to get 2 catches this week? Like, it's just that is just yelling at us to happen. Because still, you have Devontae Adams, you have the other, you have Darren Waller, you have the pieces around it. If you're stuck, like, let's say this for example, you got your one of your Patriot wide receivers, or you got Mac Hollins. Well, this week, you know what? I'll do Mac Hollins. That's about it. I'll go Romeo Doubs over him. I'll go Josh Palmer. I might even go DeAndre Carter over Mac Hollins. But if it's an extreme situation, then go Mac Hollins. But let's settle down.
I got 2 guys I want to ask you about who are playing, but I want to ask you how they impact things. First of all, Michael Gallup has been removed from the injury report and will play this week. How does this impact Cowboy fantasy players? A lot of people, they're riding that Pollard train, right? They're loving Tony Pollard for 2 weeks. CeeDee Lamb, he's been a guy people have been keeping an eye on, right? Remember? Yep. No more Dak. Cooper Rush, he ain't throwing the ball 40 times a game. So Gallup, now that he's in the mix, what is Andy McNamara doing with Cowboy players?
Well, I really liked the last couple of weeks. I picked up Noah Brown off the waiver wire, and he did a nice little job for me in flex with some injury trouble in a couple of leagues. Noah Brown, a guy, he got me 11 and 15 fantasy around there, something like that. Again, you're getting a guy. I deem a success, Josh, if you get a guy off of waivers that you need as a fill-in. If he hits double digits in any way, it's a success. That's a success because otherwise you would have got nothing. Michael Gallup throws a wrinkle into, as you said, a smartly for Dallas, focusing on the run. They're really doing a Cleveland Browns type of strategy here where you got a backup in, you got talented running backs. How about you use them? Browns do Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Dallas is doing Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard. So for Gallup getting back, I would have to think you'd ease him in some capacity. So probably not a full workload, but that really muddies the water. So I think this takes away Noah Brown. I don't want to play Michael Gallup this week. I still think CeeDee Lamb probably has the head look. Dalton Schultz, last I checked, I don't think we have a final feel on if Dalton Schultz is playing, right?
He's listed as questionable.
Yeah, he's questionable still. That might be a game timer. And if it remains that, if we don't have a clear definition Saturday, I'm not playing Dalton Schultz. So I still think, Josh, for this week, you got to stick with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. That's the smart play for fantasy. You can play both. And then let's keep track and see, how is Michael Gallup being used? How are those reps going around? Was he limited? Whatever it might be. So go with the running backs and kind of wait and see on the receivers.
J.K. Dobbins had his first action last week in 20 months. Just let that soak in for a minute.
Wow.
Only had 7 carries. So are you kind of slow rolling with J.K. Dobbins? Or you maybe put him on your bench if you got a better option? Like, are you maybe saying, hey, throw him in your flex to see what happens? Like, what's Andy McNamara recommending?
Josh, really, when it comes, and I love J.K. Dobbins out of Ohio State. Loved it. Hated that he went to Baltimore because he's not going to be utilized. This is Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is the top running back. He went for 107 yards rushing last week. Lamar Jackson is the first choice for running back, and he's your quarterback. That means, and I know last time J.K. Dobbins played, he finished the season strong. He started, well, he hasn't played in however long you said. You have a plethora of other running backs there. And again, your top running back is your quarterback. So everybody else is just to spell Lamar Jackson. That's it. So I will gladly err on the side of having J.K. Dobbins on my bench the week he may go off rather than play him and have him get me 5 or 6 fantasy points. I just do not trust that running game in Baltimore for fantasy wise, other than Lamar Jackson at all.
I got a 2-for-1 deal for you. Kadarius Toney and Wan'Dale Robinson are both out this week for the Giants. Are you telling people Richie James, David Sills? Do you trust Kenny Galladay? Do you trust no Giant receivers?
I trust the Saquon Barkley, Josh. That's all. That's who I trust. I trust Saquon Barkley. No, people. I saw, what was the number? It was whatever it was, just a ridiculous amount of Richie James additions. Like, okay, I listen, I get the mentality. Guys out, who's next man up? I understand. You also have to realize, though, you have Daniel Jones as your quarterback. And nobody wanted Daniel Jones to succeed more than me, Judge, because I have his rookie card up there, signed, 2-color patch, Prism, 9 out of 10 PSA. It's worth nothing. It's worth nothing now. It's garbage. Poor investment. But he's there. I want Daniel Jones to be good, but he's just not. He's not good. Not his fault, I don't think, fully. He was broken, but it's over. So no receivers. Saquon Barkley, hand it to Saquon, throw it to Saquon, keep going, and hope his knee doesn't fall off. That's it for the Giants. That's it.
Let's go over to the Cardinals here. AJ Green will not play. Hollywood Brown, Rondell Moore, both questionable. Now, we should mention that Moore, 3 limited practices in a row. So that means he's expected to play, okay? The Brown injury popped up on Friday, but he was still limited. So Brown and Moore are both expected to play, but AJ Green is out for the Cardinals against the Panthers.
I'm really at this point, even if AJ Green was playing, Josh, I'm not interested in him. He's a name. He's one of those names people chase. Could he go off for a big game at some point? Maybe, but AJ Green does not excite me. I think the guy to go with right now with all those questions is Zach Ertz. I think you go Zach Ertz. That's the guy who is, and again, the tight end spot, if you got Zach Ertz, you're playing him anyway because the tight end spot is so thin. But even if you're looking at DFS side, if I have to play a Cardinal, I'm looking at Zach Ertz. Who's going to be the reliable guy for Arizona? It's got to be him because Hollywood Brown, in, out. Now, if we get some clearance before Sunday, all right, off the report, going to be 100%. I like what Marquise Brown has done. I do. I do like what he's done in general this season. But other than that, from a receiver sense, you can't trust anybody. And I'm going to have to see what Rondale Moore is like back healthy and for a full game before I trust him. I have one of my teams just sitting on the IR waiting. I just have him sitting there and see what happens. And Josh, we might get to a point where DeAndre Hopkins is back, after week 6? You might never have to use Rondale Moore.
It's true. It's true. Listen, I don't want to lead the witness because I decided in the league that I have Keenan Allen that I am putting Zach Ertz as my flex this week.
There you go.
So
there you go.
Because the tight end's fine. I got Travis Kelce, so I don't need that. But I don't want to lead the witness. I wanted you to take me down the Zach Ertz path.
There you go.
On your
there you go.
The organic.
It worked out.
It did work out, especially for me.
Yes.
Well, at least I hope.
Yeah. We'll see.
I want to ask you the next 2 questions about the teams going against defensive situations. Okay. So this week, it's looking like Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney are both going to, they're what we call the doubtful side of the questionable mountain, right? So if you are somebody who owns Falcons, are you more inclined to play them this week?
Well, one of my waiver wire pickups, Josh, was Marcus Mariota. If you're in a pinch for quarterbacks, right? We've been talking about the last couple of weeks on the show here on who do you get to fill in, who do you Marcus Mariota has used his legs on run plays or RPO design run plays more so far this year than he did 2 years in Tennessee. They're utilizing the speed and the athleticism. And actually, I got to see Marcus Mariota in Vegas in person, just sort of as a passing by for a moment, Josh. I know he's tall, and you read the stats. That dude's big. Like, he's impressive in person. He's tall. He's thicker than I thought. Like, I'm like, okay, now I got a new appreciation for maybe what this guy can do. You have Cordarrelle Patterson, who's been an absolute beast. Drake London's been great. And to your point, if you have Myles Garrett out, and I don't know if you saw the picture from the media scrum today. His cheek is swelled. He's got a bloodshot eye from the car rollover. Thank goodness he's okay. But I'm like, even the most selfish fan, I'm like, dude, take a week. Like, take a week. Your Porsche rolled over how many times, right? And Jadeveon Clowney, maybe. So what that does, of course, that removes your 2 bookends. Browns will have, if that's the case, 2 rookie pass rushers in there who, those are always wild cards. So Marcus Mariota now, the leg side, I really like him for a DFS or a streaming quarterback play. I think that makes a lot of sense. Patterson, you're going to play anyway. And London, you're going to play anyway as well. Kyle Pitts probably as well, though he's been a little more up and down. So I think the Browns are going to win this game because the Atlanta defense can still definitely be had, and the Browns offense has been clicking very nicely. So I still think they win. Interesting line, though, Josh. Browns only a 1-point favorite. Like, that's really interesting. And it's a large part, I feel, because those 2 stud pass rushers are probably out of the lineup.
For the Philadelphia Eagles, not a big name, but an important part of their defense is Avonte Maddox. He's out for this game. So the main nickel corner going against team in Jacksonville that plays all 3 of those wide receivers, right? That has Evan Ingram, that has Robinson and ETN. So are you looking at the Eagles defense now as potentially vulnerable and saying, start these fantasy guys?
And I hesitate because of this. The Jacksonville offense, I really like what they've been able to do. We talked about it the other week, how Doug Peterson has really tried to deprogram Trevor Lawrence and the mess that Urban Meyer made of him. But their offensive weapons are efficient, but not game-breaking. Marvin Jones, right? Yeah, you got the Zay Jones. You got the Joneses there. You got Christian Kirk, Etienne and Robinson. Good, but I feel they'll still be able to hang. I really do. I still don't feel it's going to be any sort of real difference maker. Perhaps, the odd big play or 2. I don't think from a win side this is going to affect the Eagles. I got to say, Josh, we got to keep taking our victory laps on our guy Jalen Hurts. Per Pro Football Focus, 90.7 PFF passing grade from a clean pocket this season. First among all quarterbacks. How do you like that? Hurts haters. Huh? Guy can only run. Yeah, right. Guy's awesome. Jalen Hurts. I think he's going to be fine, Josh. I really do. I think the weapons are there. I long term though, like over this year, I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be a real tough out now. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to keep getting better. I think James Robinson. The question I'm getting a lot is, do I stick with James Robinson? I think he might be a candidate if you can trade high, like put him out for a trade, try to get, because I think you can get a good price. But I have no problem running out James Robinson every week, regardless of the opponent, until we see a reason not to.
All right, we got a listener question I want to squeeze in here.
Sure.
Now I'm going to read this for the folks listening because this is a lot going on here.
It's a mouthful. Wow.
Yeah. So it's a 12-man, 0.75 PPR. I've never seen that in my life.
Me neither.
2 running back, 3 wide receiver, 1 flex league. Team is, I believe he's trying to say, is that Geno Smith and Matthew Stafford as his quarterbacks, I believe?
Yeah, that's not great.
Who's JT? Is that
Jonathan Taylor?
Jonathan. Okay, that makes sense. Dobbins, Kupp, Evans, Myers, TJ Hawkinson. I guess Moore is Rondell Moore, maybe.
Elijah Moore?
Maybe Elijah Moore. Yo. It says my bench is pretty bad. I don't like my team. What trades should I look for?
I don't like my team. Listen, what's the Gits? I don't really like your team that much either. But Geno Smith, come on, that's done. Like I told you, go pick up Marcus Mariota. You can get Marcus Mariota for free. No trades. Drop Geno, get Marcus Mariota. You can do that today, right now. The running backs again without Dobbins. I don't want to say I don't want to give up on Dobbins in case he has a late run.
Right.
But maybe you look at something where you try to say, okay, for wide receivers, you definitely don't want to give up Kupp. You have Jonathan Taylor, who's great. Hawkinson has been good. Maybe you look to offer up a Mike Evans, who is still, look, I would love to have Mike Evans on my team, but if you're looking to upgrade maybe at running back and sort of try to package stuff together, Mike Evans might be a guy you look to throw in to a deal as well. But otherwise, yeah, like if you want to start looking, like I said, is Jamal Williams available on waivers? Is J.D. McKissick, guys for depth that way? But that would be my advice for this situation. 0.75 PPR, interesting.
I've never seen. I mean,
No.
You're the fantasy football expert over here. I mean, if you haven't seen it, then we haven't seen it.
Never heard of it. No, it's cool. I love these unique ones. There's every once a year. There's one league, Josh. It was it was like you got based on the worst performances. So you try to draft the worst team, and they somehow gave fantasy value opposite. Like if your guy had 4 interceptions, that was like good. You know, like Bizarro World.
That's too much work for me. That's too
right?
much thinking.
I know.
Yeah, I'm out on that.
You messed it up. You're like, okay, who's going to be terrible? Git's team might do well in that league. I'm kidding. It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Before I let you go, A.J. Brown missed most of the week with the birth of his child.
Right.
Are you one of these people who believes guy has a kid, guy has big game?
I think it's probably, maybe there's a record or something. I'm sure there's as many examples of yes as in no. I don't care what was happening to A.J. Brown. You're playing that guy, man. Like that chemistry is too phenomenal. I also love that Devonta Smith has been brought up a little bit because he seemed for a little bit, Josh, to be the guy maybe left to the side. But it seems like with how well Jalen Hurts is playing, there's enough ball to go around. Like there just seems to be enough ball to go around. So you know what? Well, we'll keep trading. This will be the first, maybe other players have had kids, I guess, but this will be the first Eagles one this year we'll track. Does A.J. Brown ball out in honor of his newborn child, or is it a distraction or something? I don't know. Let's keep an eye on that. I think
for all I know, he becomes the greatest decoy of all time and only has 2 catches, and Goddard has like 12 catches for all I know. I don't know.
I hope I got Goddard on 2 teams. I hope Goddard goes off. I think, you know what, Josh, too? I think that Eagles-Jags game, for not people outside the market, I think that's going to be a sneaky, entertaining game. I really do. I think with the way that Jacksonville has been progressing, you have the Peterson story coming back, right?
It's a big story here, Andy.
Absolutely.
Big story.
So the local sentiment, is it like, obviously it was an ugly exit, but you've got the Super Bowl. He's got to be pretty fondly remembered, I would think.
Oh, he's got a statue outside.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, but it's Philly, right? So, you know, you can get a little ugly sometimes.
So the working assumption right now is there's going to be a standing O for Doug, that they're going to have some sort of something moment for him on like the Jumbotron kind of thing. But I can tell you this, if the Eagles don't win the game, the boos are coming.
Oh, yeah.
And it won't be booing Doug, or it might be booing Doug. We don't know. At the beginning of the game, they're going to love him. At the end of the game, if he wins, they might not be too happy, man.
Yep. And that's why I think this game has a lot of me outside of the market. Like for an entertaining game, I want to watch this because I want to see the progression of Trevor Lawrence and the Jags offense, how they continue to develop. I want to see the excitement that has been the Eagles this year. So really, as far as the 1 o'clock game slate goes, that could be an under the radar one just for the general public outside the market that we look back on like, man, there's a lot of highlights there.
Oh, that reminds me really quick before I let you go, because we're running out of time here. Saturday morning, okay, Andy Dalton is your quarterback with the Saints. We didn't hit on that. I got to hit that real quick. Are you still trusting the Saints players with Andy Dalton? Are you trusting them less because there's no Jameis? What's Andy McNamara doing?
Boy, that's not great, man. Yeah, that's a great point. Set your lineups, folks, right? Set your lineups early, 9:30 a.m. kickoff Sunday. Yeah, it's not great, but Jameis was playing with a broken back. The only guy, and there are some other receivers who are banged up a little bit as well. I think the only receiver I want to play is Chris Olave. Andy Dalton is still proven he can be a piece that can make the pieces around him fantasy efficient. I think it's a big day for Alvin Kamara as long as he still has that Q, but as long as he is healthy enough, I think Alvin Kamara, big day. I think Chris Olave, big day. And Taysom Hill is back, Josh, so who the bleep knows? He's back. Taysom Hill's back to ruin
Sean Payton's not there. Payton's on Fox.
He doesn't matter. That guy grabs it. He's going to ruin it. We're going to be eating pancakes, and he's going to ruin it. He's going to sour them up. Taysom Hill.
Here's what I do need to let you know before I let you go. The line opened at 1.5. It has moved to 3 in favor of the Vikings since the news came out about Jameis. And this opened at 46.5. It is down to 41.5.
Interesting. Now, I got to ask you this. Does 9:30 a.m. on Sunday, standalone London game, does that count as a prime time game?
No.
Okay, then Kirk Cousins is fine.
I mean, it's like the middle of the afternoon over there in England, isn't it? It's like 3:30.
It is, but it's a focus game. That's what I mean. It's a focus game. So that's why I kind of thought, I'm like, oh, don't get into your own head about this. But I think those London games quite often turn into sort of weird ones like the Thursday games where, you know, so I would expect maybe a lower scoring game. If your name isn't Justin Jefferson, I try to fade on the receivers there with the Vikings. But this, I don't know. I'm feeling that with the over under dropping, this could be more of an ugly-ish type of game. Maybe a lot of field goals. I don't know.
Andy McNamara at AndyMC81 is where you give him a follow. Tell the folks about Twitch on Sunday morning.
Yes. All right, brother. Yeah. Hey, guys, twitch.tv/Ultimate Fantasy Sports. That's where you go Sunday morning, 11 a.m. to noon Eastern. You hit me up. We do a live Ask Andy. I'm going to have a couple betting experts on this week. I have a couple fantasy guests as well. We're going to get you ready, live injury updates and your questions all the way up to kickoff in that critical time when those final injury reports come out. So twitch.tv/Ultimate Fantasy Sports and on Twitter at AndyMC81.
Andy, have a good weekend, my friend.
All right, brother. Talk to you later. Go Eagles.
Go Eagles, right? And, of course, our conversation with Andy McNamara being brought to you by my friends over at the FanDuel Sportsbook inside Bally's off the boardwalk in Atlantic City. Football season is in full swing, so bet, watch, and win all season long and enjoy your favorite games with 10 betting kiosks, 5 betting windows, 13 big screen TVs, and plenty of comfortable seating. Over at the FanDuel Sportsbook inside Bally's off the boardwalk in Atlantic City. Get there to get in on all the action this season. FanDuel wants every bettor's experience to be enjoyable and fun. Visit FanDuel.com/playwell to learn more. Must be 21 or to play and present in New Jersey to bet online. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. We'll wrap up the show on the other side. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Game Night on 97.3 ESPN FM.
The hunt for October continues today on ESPN Radio.
Ronald Acuna Jr. with a bomb.
It's the final weekend of the regular season, and the New York Mets and Atlanta Braves are going head-to-head for the National League East title.
A 3-run homer for Pete Alonso.
The Mets at the Braves. Listen to Major League Baseball on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins at 7 p.m.
Looking for something to do outdoors? Fall in the Garden State is all about the Jersey Fresh experience on our farms. From picking Jersey Fresh apples and pumpkins to enjoying warm cider after solving a corn maze with family and friends. Fall in love with Jersey Fresh.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit beefy, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-9336. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-9336. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-9336. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life, call 800-444-9336.
Football season is in full swing at FanDuel Sportsbook inside Bally's Atlantic City. Bet, watch, and win all season long. Plus, enjoy your favorite games from all over the world with 10 betting kiosks, 5 betting windows, 13 big screen TVs, and plenty of comfortable seating. Just head over to FanDuel Sportsbook at Bally's in Atlantic City to get in on all the action this season. FanDuel wants every bettor's experience to be enjoyable and fun. Visit FanDuel.com/playwell to learn more. Must be 21 or to play and present in New Jersey. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barata. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Hi, I'm Dan Tracy. I'm a workers' compensation attorney. At Goldenberg Mackler, we've handled thousands of workers' compensation claims over the years. Our experienced attorneys understand the law and will fight to get you the benefits that you deserve. When injured at work, make the right call to Goldenberg Mackler. Call us at 609-344-7131. That's 609-344-7131. Or visit us online at gmslaw.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-341-8735 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-341-8735. That's 800-341-8735. What do you have to lose? Call 800-341-8735. Again, 800-341-8735.
Hey, Birds fans, Boardwalk Honda is kicking off the season with great savings on your next vehicle. Shop and save on our new all-star lineup, including your favorite new Honda models. Right now, get 1.9% APR financing for 48 months on a new 2022 Honda Passport, Pilot, or Ridgeline. Stop in and tackle these deals today. Visit us in Egg Harbor Township or online at BoardwalkHonda.com. And remember, from Maine to Miami, nobody beats a Boardwalk deal.
Hi, I'm Capri, and the little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe is the chicken. They actually put it on the grill, cooked it in the sauce. It's definitely a good grilled spicy sandwich.
Order a grilled spicy deluxe sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonial.
Listen up, South Jersey football fans. Are you interested in solar? Want a free roof? EMT Solar and Roofing has you covered. Visit ESPNsolar.com to see if your home qualifies for a free roof with solar installation. Don't wait, act now. Start saving thousands and virtually extinguish your electric bill. ESPNsolar.com is the place to go for your roofing or solar needs. No commitments, no hidden fees. Go to ESPNsolar.com to see if you qualify.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Game Night being brought to you by my friends over at Jenkins. Call Jenkins for heating, plumbing, air conditioning. Now it's time to call about a new heating and air conditioning system from American Standard or Bosch. Ask about rebates and no interest financing. Don't wait, because they have units from American Standard and Bosch in stock. Already replaced your HVAC system recently? Ask about an annual maintenance service plan with low monthly payments and schedule that all important tune-up today. Call 609-641-6262 or visit them online at jenkinsandsons.com. We went a little long with Andy McNamara, but there was just too much football to get to, so I always appreciate Andy taking the extra time for us here on 97.3 ESPN. Coming up next on 97.3 ESPN FM, you have Braves versus Mets. And tomorrow, 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday, Billy Schwein in the locker room. I'm Josh Hennig. Have a great night.
Saturday morning in the locker room with Billy Schwein, Pete Thompson.
And for the YouTube audience, thank you for watching the show. This is the exclusive post show for the YouTube audience only. So make sure I got the audio completely out of my ears so I can have this conversation with you guys. A couple things I want to get to before I get out of here. I'll get to the picks, which have apparently become a post-show only conversation sometimes. Before I get to that, I want to get to really quick. Hear me out on Tua last night. So most of the sports world knows that Tua Tagovailoa had a serious, we'll call it a neurological incident last night. I think calling it a concussion is a little bit too generic at this point. Here's the problem that happened last night. The people at Amazon Prime did a complete disservice to everyone watching the game. First of all, they never brought up the fact that Tua had a similar issue on Sunday. And the reason why he was questionable all week was because people saw him go down on Sunday and it looked like he might have had a concussion. The Dolphins and Tua claim he had a back issue and an ankle issue. Now remember, this is the same Tua that had surgery on both ankles in college. He had that tightrope surgery where they basically they re-pull the ankle back together so it has less wiggle room to have a high ankle sprain is the working theory. And if you do have a high ankle sprain with a tightrope injury, it's a tightrope surgery, then you probably tore something in your ankle, basically. So that's what that was about. Well, when Tua went down last night, the broadcast never mentioned what happened on Sunday during the game or at halftime. And then during the game, halftime and post-game, it was all about, the NFLPA is investigating what happened on Sunday. And frankly, I thought that was a complete disservice because there's one thing about Tua's story that I don't think anybody realizes. Tua has a massive injury history. He's had a serious hip injury. He's had both ankles had surgery on. He has had back injuries. The dude can't stay healthy. And I don't want to say he's brittle or fragile, but we as a sports public have to look at people like Tua differently. Look at what happened to Joel Embiid with the 76ers, completely different sport. The Sixers built into his contract that he would only get the maximum amount of money if he plays a certain amount of games per year and meets certain superlatives with career achievements. I think the Dolphins got to do the same kind of contract if they can get away with it with Tua. I don't think it'd be smart moving forward for the Dolphins to give this guy a contract if he can't stay healthy. And by the way, Teddy Bridgewater didn't look bad last night. So I'm very disappointed that Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit, the production staff on Amazon Prime, Krista Thompson on the post game. I'm very sad that all of them, who are all professionals and well-respected people in the broadcast business, did not bring context to the Tua situation. This is a young man who's had a lot of injuries in his career. And I'm not saying that those injuries led him to having a concussion last night, but what I will say is that Tua is a young man who he may be vulnerable to injury. You know, maybe he falls harder. Maybe he falls more often. Maybe he trips. He doesn't have as much balance, all because he can't stay healthy. It's just something to think about. All right, let's get to the picks here. Full disclosure, I did not have a lot of time to go through and get my picks this week because today was probably, full disclosure, the most ridiculous day I've had in a while here at the radio station, dealing with a bunch of technical issues that probably are really not my job, but, you know, I'm a doer. I get things done. So, I don't have as many picks for you guys as I usually would at this point in time. But so I'm just going to give you what I got. And then, hopefully we'll get some wins. I mean, we got 2 wins last night. So we're 14-0 on the NFL picks. We're hitting 62% on the college football picks. So we'll start with the Saturday college football games. I only have a couple games for you guys. I really like Oklahoma -5.5 at TCU. Illinois, the return of Brett Bielema to Wisconsin. Illinois at Wisconsin. I like the under 43.5 there. Kentucky, I have no idea why this number is still +6.5 for Kentucky. They're getting their best running back for this game, and Ole Miss is not as good as they used to be. I love the Kentucky 6.5. Honestly, if I had to ask, my pick of the weekend might be Kentucky, the +6.5 in that game. So there's only 3 picks for the college football. I'm literally doing this in real time, trying to see if I can find anything else on the schedule that may stand out. Well, we're going to have the NC State Clemson game on 97.3 ESPN FM tomorrow night. What are we working with that game? See, here's the problem. I'm 0 for 2 right now and playing around with NC State. So part of me would really like to say go over in the NC State Clemson game. There's part of me that really likes to say take NC State +6.5, but I gotta do the stay away with them. Scrolling through the schedule, see if there's anything else tomorrow. Nothing else really stands out to me. So I'm sorry, folks. I only got 3 there. NFL picks. I know more of these because on the cash consideration pod earlier. So I basically just copy and pasted what I said earlier this week. I like the Ravens +3 at home versus the Bills. I also like the over 51 in that game. Also, Jags +6.5 at the Eagles. I have the Eagles winning the game, but I have the Jags covering. And now with the Avonte Maddox injury, I'm even more suspicious of the Eagles' defense. I think the Eagles still win the game, but I think it's going to be a close game in the end. I got the Lions -3.5 versus the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks defense is a dumpster fire, honestly. I don't think that game against Russell Wilson, we found out they knew what Russell Wilson was calling and what he was pointing out. So I can't count that game as part of the overall picture. And I think the Lions actually have a good offense. Even without DeAndre Swift, I think that they can put up points. So I wouldn't be surprised if they win by at least 7 in that game. Pats at Packers under 40. Look, the Packers got a great defense. I don't know if the Patriots are going to score a lot of points in that game, but I got the under in that game. And then I also have the under in the Rams 49ers. The Rams and the 49ers have hit the under in all of their games this year. How can you not go under, right? It's I know for people who love offense, it's not the sexiest thing in the world, but listen, winning's winning. And I remind all of you, these are suggestions, these are opinions. I am not telling you to gamble. If you choose to gamble, that is your responsibility. If you do have a gambling problem or you do have a compulsion to waste your money, please call 1-800-GAMBLER and get some help. So, and of course, all of our picks being brought to you by my friends with the FanDuel Sportsbook inside Bally's off the boardwalk in Atlantic City. And my conversation with Andy McNamara being brought to you by our friends at Jenkins & Sons Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Visit them online at jenkinsandsons.com. I got to get out of here. Thank you to everyone watching on the YouTube channel. Hit the like button. Subscribe to Josh Hennig on YouTube. I appreciate everyone for watching the post show here on the YouTube channel. For those who are wondering where I'll be this week, I'll be back at yesterday's in Marmora off of Roosevelt Boulevard for Billy Schweim's Eagles pregame show. And we'll be hanging out to watch the Eagles game after the show. So you can catch me and the gang over there this Sunday. And I hope everyone's doing well. You know, it's going to be a crazy wet weekend. So please be responsible in your travels this weekend. Understand that the rain is going to be a little windy, a little wet, a little less than ideal this weekend. So please be careful, whatever you're doing out and about this weekend. So thanks again to Andy McNamara for doing the show. Thank all of you for watching the extended, an extra 10 minutes on the YouTube video. Thanks to all of you for listening. Hit the like button, subscribe, share it with your friends. Have a great night.